Hello and welcome back to Ramble About Wrestling, the only show where we give you blunt force trauma with our words. Today we have a preview of GCW Homecoming happening tonight, 8/7 Central. I wanted to say that for quite a while. And also tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Although tonight's card is stacked, Sundays doesn't have as many matches on it yet. I'm sure we're going to have some developments tonight. I still remember Cardona winning the World Championship at Homecoming all those years ago from Nick Gage. What a moment. It has produced some incredible moments, but it may produce an extremely sad one. As our first match I want to talk about, Joey Janela versus Marko Stunt. If Joey Janela loses, he will retire from professional wrestling. A man who was retired himself before and became a car dealer, Marko Stunt. Car dealer sounds a lot more flamboyant, a lot more special than what it was. But Marko Stunt, a man who's achieved many things over the years, been 1/3 of everybody's favourite AEW faction when it started, the Jurassic Express. I mean, you could argue the Inner Circle, but you know, we'll keep it on point. Joey Janela, however, we've just celebrated 20 years of the bad boy in professional wrestling, so he has made his mark as well. If you want a prediction, personally, I am going to have to give it to Mr. Janela. I can't see him ending a brilliant career. Not yet. Not on this night. As we move things along, Nick Gage teams with Sicko the Clown, Nino Extremo to take on Dr. Redacted, Conor Claxton, and Jimmy Lloyd. Now, I can't say I'm familiar with everyone in this match. However, Nick Gage, deathmatch wrestling icon. Sicko the Clown and Nino Extremo fighting in a circus deathmatch, whatever that is, tomorrow night at Homecoming Part 2. Dr. Redacted made his name this year in the deathmatch scene, really, became one of the big hitters. Conor Claxton cannot have any analysis on this, but Jimmy Lloyd, you're fucking with a different boy. He is incredible. Love to see that boy not in the scramble, which of course we do have a scramble on this card, which is a shock to me, quite frankly. But I mean, I'm expecting this to be a hardcore war, and I don't know, Nick Gage. I'm a bit scared for him because I hear there's some things going awry for him recently. To be fair, I haven't personally seen the things that are going wrong a bit awry, but allegedly, I mean, I've just read a little preview to try and fill myself in because obviously don't know everything about GCW. Somebody said he was going to be stuffed into the back of a van by a masked man, but my further research means to not say that, but maybe someone's in the know. As let's move on. This one is going to be a massacre, a Chola chain match between Vipress and Christian Napier. Christian Napier, my least favourite wrestler of all time. I'm pretty sure he called me some pretty mean names because I didn't like his AI. That's the thing. We're anti-AI on this channel. And I didn't fuck with the fact that Atticus Cogar used it once or twice. That's legitimately, I hope. I'm going to take great joy from seeing Vipress absolutely abolish him with a Chola chain, which I believe is just your typical chain match where they'll be tied together by a chain. Nothing fancy except for the ass whooping that Christian Napier is going to receive. As things keep on swinging, the GCW Tag Team Championships will be put on the line when the Bustah and the Brain team to take on KJ Orso and Sam Stackhouse. Now, I love the little feud that Sam Stackhouse and KJ Orso had last year. Of course, they then came back together to try and end Marko Stunt at the WrestleMania weekend show. I believe they were unsuccessful as Jack Perry did a cheeky little run-in. No, Jack Perry was teaming with Marko Stunt. Silly me. But tonight, they have a chance to capture gold. I think it's nice. Homegrown team. Bustah and the Brain, who, they're a homegrown team, but now they're an established name. I've got a bad feeling KJ Orso and Stackhouse will be walking out your new champs. But we can only pray that they lose them tomorrow immediately, because KJ Orso / Fuego del Sol deserves it. We move on. Keep it coming. Some more incredible action. Bronson, who also made his name this year in the deathmatch scene, cut his teeth, whatever you want to say, teams with newest TNA knockout Gabby Forza to take on Charles Mason and SLADE. Now, SLADE is a crazy man. I don't think he'll have any flaws with me saying that. He is mental, and he is teaming with Charles Mason in a till death doors part match, which, I mean, I get Bronson, Gabby Forza, a couple. Mason and SLADE, I didn't know were like that, but, we're open on this channel. Unfortunately, I do think SLADE is going to have some mental stuff in this match. Till death do us part makes me think it'll be a death match. The fact that it's GCW Homecoming makes me think it'll be a death match. I know that technically Brett Lauderdale said that there wouldn't be fire, but I think there'll be fire in this one, whether he approves of it or not. As the co-main event, you could argue, moves. I personally think it's a co-main event, but I think it's also sort of the main attraction if you're not keeping up with GCW. Joseph Sawyer makes his return to independent wrestling against Atticus Cogar for the GCW World Championship. Now, we know QR codes have been popping up on the screen of Atticus Cogar matches, sort of like a Wyatt Six style thing. I don't hate it. I kind of wish he'd go back to being the Joe Gacy that we know and love. I think it's a lovely thing, the Wyatt Six, but it really left a sour taste in a lot of mouths with the whole releasing them from WWE. But that's not his fault, obviously. But I think WWE using it as a cash grab in a way, it kind of it's solid. It's soggy the character, if you will. So I'd much prefer if he went back to the Switchblade Conspiracy sort of guy. Or, I mean, I loved the woke 2021 NXT 2.0 thing where he was trying to be the best in the cruiserweight division, even though he was way over the weight limit. I'd love any of that, but I can see why he'd want to be a spooky boy, and I just can't wait to see what Atticus Cogar cooks up for his entrance. I'm sure it'll have some touching tributes to Bray Wyatt. Maybe a little prod or poke at the past of Joseph Sawyer as well. As a match that I completely forgot was on the card, I mentioned it, but it's hidden at the bottom of my notes because they didn't give me an official match graphic for it. Leedz Lewis takes on Bobby Flaco, who takes on Teriyaki, who takes on Flying Ryan, who takes on Jay Lucas, who takes on Tarzan Duran. Now, these are 6 incredible wrestlers. Again, don't know most of them. However, Teriyaki, that's my boy. A lot of you guys, if you've watched the channel for a while, will know that I'm a big fan of Teriyaki. Although I don't like Teriyaki, funnily enough. Not the biggest fan of Teriyaki, but Teriyaki, Mr. Yaki, is an incredible high flyer. I've seen Flying Ryan, speaking of high flyers, saw him team with the Bustah and the Brain, I believe, or no, it was Fancy Ryan Clancy and somebody else in the American Dream Mall. You see, I pop my head in from time to time, but I know these two are the standouts. I've heard of Leedz Lewis. I've heard of Bobby Flaco. I'm getting to see or hear my first things from Jay Lucas and Tarzan Duran. But I do think Teriyaki, I've got to back him for the win. However, someone I need to see win is Anakin Murphy. A blunt force trauma death match. just clear it up for a second. A blunt force trauma death match is a suspected main event, mainly because I don't think they'll be able to clean the ring up if they put it anywhere else on the card, because somebody is receiving blunt force trauma. Blunt force trauma. I mean, I'm going to say it so much the word doesn't mean anything, but how do you win a match like that? It is for the Ultraviolent Championship, and I think it will be Ultraviolent. Otis Cogar, brother of Atticus, hoping to keep the Cogar legacy of holding most of the gold in the company afloat. However, Anakin Murphy says, "Over my dead body," because that's his signature catchphrase, you see. I actually think Anakin's going to do it. I think they've told a really good story here. I've loved it. Anakin Murphy, of course, said there's only one way to find out how in the world you win a blunt force trauma death match, and that's to tune in. And that's what I will be doing. Absolutely. However, there are a few matches for night 2. Let's just chuck them in here. Control Chaos take on Top Team. Don't know any of these guys, so that's going to be a fun little bonus. And then obviously some incredible deathmatch wrestling will be happening. I mean, it's sickening how much deathmatch wrestling we're getting this weekend, but I'm not against it, as Beastman will take on Dr. Redacted. And finally, the aforementioned circus deathmatch between Sicko the Clown and Nino Extremo. However, I have been Jackie Benno with Rambling About Wrestling's Rambling Previews, we'll call them. I hope you've had a good time. I know I have. I know you have. Well, I don't, but leave a like if you have. I will see you in about 5 hours, where on the Twitter I'll be live tweeting GCW as long as I don't fall asleep, because I'm British, and it'll be about 4, 5 in the morning when it ends. So, peace, love ya, see ya, pound it, noggin, see ya, as Dude Perfect would say. Stay rambling.